third, almost half, are from families where another language is spoken at home. There are 100 languages spoken in our schools. Not a lot of folks realize that. I mean, there are some top language getters, you know, the Spanish and the Filipino language and other languages, but Tagalog, I was looking for the term, but there are hundreds of languages in our schools, and I don't realize if people realize how many. But as I think back when Superintendent Tom Torlakson took office, there was no central place in the department to deal with English learner issues, really, and so he took it upon himself, really, to make sure that the English learners, the 1.4 million students, were going to be made a priority. So he developed an office, the English Learner and Support Division, there at the department. And I brought with me today Alcala, who's right here, who's the administrator over those programs. And so all the really hard questions, if there are any, but I know everyone's getting to the reception, she can help answer. But he established this division, and it brought together experts, advocates that are really have dedicated their entire careers to the improvement of education for English learners. And this division produces guidance, support, monitors, administers funding, so that education agencies can improve the education of these students. The division works with everyone in the department, so it's not just isolated that this one division deals with English learner support and program, but this unit and this division really works with all of the divisions, from assessment to after school to early education. And so we really strive for that. But what I came here to tell you is really what the state superintendent's vision is for the state of California. And he really wants to maximize the gifts that students bring to California. The gift of a diverse culture, the gift of diverse languages, and to encourage students to learn English, but also to support the development of their primary language and other language of their choosing. And not many state superintendents have said that. And so this administration is very supportive of that. And this is a time really of educational evolution. So we celebrate the victories of the past, where the work of the present is still really critical. And one of the things that just recently happened in the state of California that you may or may not be aware of is we're funding students and schools differently. It's been called local control funding formula. And one of the top 3 priorities are English learners, foster youth, and disadvantaged youth. So we are now receiving a weighted student formula for English learners. So I'm really happy to report that's a huge victory. The superintendent, the governor, and the state board were wholeheartedly behind it. But today we live in a world where communication is central to everything, to learning and progressing as a nation, as an individual. So the initiatives of today have taken language and communications to new levels. So the California Department of Education has done a lot to promote high quality, rigorous education for English learners, but can we do more? Absolutely. Will we do more? Most definitely. Here are just some examples of what we have been working on since Tom Torlakson took office. So you might have heard of something called the California Common Core State Standards. So the new standards that were adopted in 2010. These are 21st century skills: critical thinking, analytical thinking, collaborative, work-based, project-based instruction, a lot of communication. So the Common Core English Language Arts Standards have been translated to Spanish. It was a joint project between the San Diego County Office of Education and the Chief Council of State School Officers, and it's called Common Core in Espanol. I was already putting a little accent on the Common Core. And then the math standards or translations underway as well. But the rigor of the instruction of the California Common Core State Standards is grounded in the ability of students and teachers really to have academic conversation around academic topics. So the way we've taught English language development in the past is to access the language, You've got to learn how to do the grammar and the sentence structure. But we were leaving a lot of students behind on the academic content and language. And so what the promise of the Common Core Standards is really that it's 21st century skills ready for college and career. And what we've done is we've aligned the new English language development standards to the English language arts Common Core State Standards. And so that students will receive, while they're learning English, the really rich literary content that they have been missing. So we're really proud of that as well. We've also developed, and so we've talked a little bit about the English language development. It's really it's nationally recognized by others. They've recently been used as a model by other states. We continue to work on the development of assessments aligned, and then there's a bill that recently got passed that we not only want to align the English language development standards to English language arts, but what about math, what about science? So we're moving ahead with that work as well. In addition, this is historic, we have these English language development standards that are aligned to the English language arts like everybody else, other students who are going to do the alignment or the correspondence, I've learned in those terms, to math and science. But for the first time in the nation, we're developing an English language arts, English language development framework. So in the past, those frameworks help guide teachers on what they should be able to know, be able how to do, how do they teach it. And it guides the instructional materials. So there's always been a disconnect between the standards that we had and the materials we had in the classroom. You had to go and buy the separate materials. But now they're really going to be integrated. But that doesn't mean that we're saying that they aren't supposed to get designated EL. They absolutely still need that. And we're making sure we communicate that to others. But again, historic, I don't know that anyone, I'm looking at the national folks, look, anybody in the nation that's been able to really combine the English language arts and ELD frameworks together in one. In addition, if that weren't enough, there's more. So one of the options in the frameworks is the option of biliteracy programs that, for families choosing for a dual language immersion program. My daughter actually is in a dual immersion program. She's just started her TK. My son is 8. My daughter is going to be 5. And it's in one school district there in Sacramento. And people ask me, well, why is your daughter in one and not your son? I said, because I love her more. Not true at all. It's just that I discovered the program after he was already started 2nd grade. It'll take you after that. So we'll see. I'm going to blog about this experience and see what happens. So I also wanted to talk about a little bit about the fact that we also, before, right as Superintendent Charleston was coming into office, we have a California Best Practices for Young Dual Language Learners, which is all research-based. I want to bring your attention to that. But also, in his Blueprint for Great Schools, he talked a lot about his vision and priority for English learners and acknowledged the importance of language development that it has in their learning. So not just learning English, as I mentioned, for proficient levels, but learning the home language and any other language of interest to high levels. So, under his leadership, California was the first state in the nation to pass legislation to recognize graduating seniors of our high schools who demonstrated proficiency in English and in another language. To date, we have over 53,000 graduating seniors that have received the state seal of biliteracy on their diploma. Over 600 high schools have participated in the program. The state seal has been awarded in over 40 languages, including American Sign Language. So not only does the state seal biliteracy program recognize the learning of a world language in addition to English, but it also recognizes the economic benefits of a multiliterate workforce, having really valuing multiliterate individuals in a global arena. And there's also a resource in with our English learner children who come with a different linguistic background. And I have to say, if we didn't do that alone, there's advocates in this room, Californians Together, and Calif, and that have really brought that attention to the state, and we're successful in moving that. So your advocacy efforts have been rewarded because we have 53,000 seals. So we're really excited about our partnership and implementation of that. So, in closing, everybody excited about that. The Lau versus Nichols played a personal role in my life, but also a crucial role for many, and that it identified a core set of requirements for a protected group of students. Today, we continue to work to fulfill the promise of Lau, not only because of the requirement to providing equity, but Lau is just the beginning. We continue to strive for the highest quality. So at the California Department of Education and the State Board of Education recognized, and I hope I can speak for both of them since I am being videotaped, the resources our immigrant students and English learners, the potential they carry with themselves and their contribution to the society in general. And in recognizing all of that, we strive to provide each and every English learner the program of language development they are entitled to, and provide them the right to academic success as given to every student in this great state of California. So I want to thank you to all of those who have fought and continue to fight to ensure our English learners, including myself, receive the educational experience that we so rightly deserve. Thank you.
Okay, so I just wanted to close this by really thanking everyone for coming here. I thank the speakers, the keynote speakers, the panelists. I want to thank the volunteers, the workers that have been here all day. And I want to thank, again, the co-chairs of this conference, Professor Lin Wong and Professor Edward Steinman, for calling attention to this 40th anniversary of this historic, momentous sort of court case that really changed our lives in so many different ways, not only in public education, but in all public sectors of American society. And this is the 40th commemoration of it. We've learned a lot in terms of what got us there, and we've heard from a lot of people about the things that we have to look ahead, all the struggles, the challenges ahead, as well as all the wonderful projects that we can come together to work toward. So thank you again.